I remember my first kiss with a spiritual narcissist. I have never felt so empty after kissing someone. The same thing happens when you sleep with these people. After the intimacy, whatever, you feel like I shouldn't have done it. Was that a mistake? You feel empty. You feel like something has been taken from you. You've been drained. Um, those experiences go on and on and on as long as you're involved with these soulless beings, the bots, NPCs. Now, when we say these things, they trigger some people because they must the narcissists they want us to massage their ego. They want us to massage their ego. They want us to say these nice things about them and they praise them. So when you start saying things as they are, the truth is what actually triggers them. They don't like it. They are very, very triggered. They are extremely irritated by this kind of channels because we say it as it is. So experiencing narcissistic abuse made me realize that there is people that lack empathy. They don't have even a gram of it, even a little bit of it. So they don't know how it feels to have a genuine emotion for somebody. So for them, when they go into something, they go in there without emotions because that's one of the things that they will never tell you. Again, it comes down to many people not having souls. They do not have real souls. They are bots, okay? They are programs. So I started realizing these dynamics because it wasn't about one or two nurses. There were so many. So I was starting to go back in time and I would realize, oh, there was these people that used to come in and out. Who was these people? Where were they coming from? So I went down the rabbit hole to dig, better understand what was I dealing with and how to protect myself. So I went through a lot of discoveries, realizations, awareness. I got so enlightened and I understood this was spiritual warfare. Because now I understood who I am. You see, one of the things that the enemy will do, the enemy is going to hide you from who you are. Because the enemy doesn't want you to know who you are. When you know who you are, the enemy don't have power over you. In this matrix, you can look around and you're going to see these bots there everywhere. People without souls. They're just moving around from one place to another. They don't know what is going on. They can speak like you. They know how they can eat. They can communicate, but they don't have depth. They don't have emotions. They just cruise through like, the world belongs to them or something like that. It's what they do. So this helped me realize something very powerful, and it made me start moving a certain direction because now I knew that this is what we have been dealing with. Not only did I come to these realizations, I also understood the losses because you see, when you deal with these soulless beings, they don't have anything. They don't feel anything about you. They don't have any love for you. They don't have any emotions. The only thing they want is to cause you pain because when you're dealing with a demonic entity, I've told you these demonic entities don't recognize you as a soul because they don't have a soul on their own, so they don't recognize you as a soul. They want to see you as something they can punish because of your indifference. You're indifferent. You're not like them, and they don't like that. So I went down the rabbit hole, discovered a lot of things, did my research, and then when I knew what exactly was happening, that's when I stopped to date. I was like, let me take a little break from this dating. There's something going on here. We need to find out what it is. So I started watching people. I started observing people. And in those few days when I stopped dating, they started coming in. I would see them coming in. Sometimes I would move around. I meet one of them. Hey, we talk a little bit, like I'd been doing before. Because when you're breaking a cycle, this matrix will try to bring you some incidents to test you if you can recognize the cycle. You know what I mean? So I used to run into these boats every now and then, but I was more aware. Hey, how is it going? This and this. We'll talk a little bit. This. Then I use my discernment. I look around and say, this is one of them. That is one of them. So that's how I started to see them. And in most cases, when it couldn't work, these boats was very, very angry. One of the things you will understand with these people, when you refuse to date them or you reject them, they are going to take it very, very personal. How dare you reject them? Everybody else is running after them. Everybody wants them. Everybody adores them. So who are you? How dare you even reject them? How is it possible? They can't understand this. So that's exactly what was happening. You're full of yourself. Very big ego. This and this. They would say this and they would say that, but I knew what I was doing. You see, when you've been through abuse, you are never ever going to allow yourself to fall for those kind of counterfeit crop relationships. You will never. It's not possible. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be alone. You can be alone. You will be on your own than being with those bots. That's what they are. They are bots. When you call them bots, they're going to get very pissed. Who do you think you are? Oh, so you think you are special? This and this. They get very pissed because they don't like to hear those kind of those kind of truths. Ladies and gentlemen, I counted my losses as a survivor of narcissistic abuse. I counted my losses, but I also took the initiative to change something because I knew that the change was going to happen inside of me. It was going to be inside out. So I was going to start healing myself and working better, doing better, choosing better. My life changed. From that moment forward, I took a decision to stop those things of dating up and down and going up and down in relationships. Everything. The moment I chose to stop, that is when my life took off. How is it a coincidence? You cut off family members, you cut off not all family members. There are some family members, regular ones, normal ones, good intentions, no harm intended. But when you start cutting off toxic people, the moment you remove toxic people out of your life, everything shifts. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand we're in spiritual warfare. We're dealing with this is a battle for your soul. These bots, they're in competition. When they identify you, they are going to be on the move. There's another one, they will come. Control you, manipulate you, abuse, whatever, traumatize you, and then they're going to move to the next one. That's what they do. So the moment you start identifying what is narcissistic abuse, you're going to understand the simulation, how it works. So there's a reason why they don't tell you a lot about this narcissistic abuse and everything, because when you identify the simulation, how it works, you're going to understand that these narcissists, they have always been around here. They have been all over the place. You wasn't paying attention, but they have been around. Your parents, your uncles, your aunties, your landlords, your bosses at work, your relatives, family members, they have been around. You wasn't paying attention, you know. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You see, one of the things why they are trying to destroy you is because you have a real soul. You have a soul. You have empathy. I've told you guys, empathy is a gift. This empathy is a spiritual gift. There is people that cannot feel anything about anything. You see them moving up and down. They don't feel nothing. They can get injured when they fall, like everybody else, and whatever. They can bleed, but emotionally, they cannot feel. They cannot empathize with the situation, with the person, with the situation, with the circumstance. They are very much disconnected from reality. They're on the other side of the spectrum. So they don't know what you think. They don't know what you want. They don't even know what your needs are. The moment I removed those boats out of my life, everything changed. You start to evolve, you grow, you start to heal, you start to have clarity, you have vision, you can see where you're going, you know what you want, you know your worth. Because these boats, what they always wanted was to make you forget From day one, that was the intention. They wanted you to forget. They never wanted you to find out or know who you are. They always wanted you to forget. Very rarely do you hear people talking about narcissistic abuse because it's spiritual. You know, the people that are supposed to protect you, they are the abusers. Your father is supposed to protect you, they are the abusers. The law enforcement who is supposed to come to your rescue, something is going on, they are the abusers themselves. How are they going to protect you? The lawyers who is supposed to help you with your case, they are the narcissist. Every pocket of society, you go to doctors, you go to hospitals, they're all over. They are scattered all over the place, and you really expect that because the narcissists read from the same is the same frequency, is the same energy. They went to the same university, so whatever you're going to meet them is going to be the same recipe. It will be a different scenario, different setting, but same recipe. It's going to be the same. That is how it has always been. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know that it's time for you to start being very careful of dating. The dating scene is messed up. Everything you thought you knew about narcissistic abuse, it was always beyond the NPDs and all those things. You need to understand you're dealing with soulless beings. They don't have a soul. They know their name. They know the home where they live. They can drive around and whatever, go from A to B, but they don't have a soul. And the quicker you start understanding and seeing these things for what they are, is going to help you. It's really, really going to help you to recover. So I stopped dating, is what I'm trying to say. I stopped those dating and everything, and that's how everything took off all of a sudden. So let's know what you think about the video. I just want to share with you my journey of what exactly happened. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. Denzo Mos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.